Hi, welcome to Recitation 0.15 Dataloaders, and I'm Yisheng Fang. And so we have talked about datasets before, so now we are heading to the dataloaders. Here is the position of dataloaders during the training process. We load the data with the dataset, and we want to use a dataloader to load the dataset for training purpose. And for each dataset, we have a training loader for it, like training loader or test loader for training set and test set. And why do we need the data loader? Here are three key points. So before we talk about the specific things about the data loader, we want to have a common view of it. It is used to better train the model. So how to better train the model? The better training means two things. One is the effect, and the second means the efficiency. Now we can look into it. The first one is batching. Batching works on both the effect and efficiency. So what batch means is you can compute multiple data at one time. Like when we set batch size into 4, so we just compute 4 data at a time. And it can intuitively increase the efficiency. Also, when you have only one data processed at one time, and your gradient update will be quite random. So increasing the batch size will also increase the stability of training. And the second thing is shuffling. This is more about the training effect thing. And shuffling is mostly used to avoid overfitting in data. For example, in binary classifications, the labels could be all ones in the front and all zeros in the back. And when you train model with this data, it will cause many strange effects. For example, it just predict 1 or predict zeros, and the gradient update is not stable or even random. So we have to shuffle the data to make the training more reliable and avoid the overfitting of data. After shuffling, it is more like a mix of ones and zeros. And the third part is data processing. We are not satisfied with the data we just load from the dataset. We want to do some transforms or other operations just to make the data pattern we want or do some data augmentation. And this is also more about the effects. So now we have a sense of why we need a data loader. We want to make the train more efficient and better in performance. Here is the example of a data loader. We can make a dataset just like we have talked about it in the previous lectures. And here we have the data loader. So how do it looks like? We use the data loader, and the first parameter is the dataset, which we have talked about in the last lecture. Second thing is the batch size. So the batch size is how many data you want to process at one time. And shuffle means if you want to make the sequence in random. And number of workers, this is mostly about the efficiency, and we'll talk about it later. So let's see what's in the train loader. So we set batch size into 2, so the first dimension of each data is 2. So for example, the input is 2 plus 2, and the output is 2 by 1. So the first dimension is the batch size. And also we can see here's a problem. We set the batch size to 2, but we have only 5 data in total. We cannot split it into 2 by 2 by 2. We can only split it into 2 by 2 by 1. So our final size of the batch is only 1. So we also have to fix this. And now, as we said, there is only one batch in the final batch, and we can add something to avoid this. So how do we add this? We can add drop last to true. And so we can show it here like this one. So let's see. And now we have our batches too. And drop last can ensure our batch size and status of each batch in the same number. So we can also see there is number of worker parameters here. And so how the number of workers affects the training process. If the number of workers is just 0, the model will firstly calculate this data, and after it train, and it will sequentially load the next one. However, when the dataset gets larger and larger, the loading data process could be much slow. So we can firstly load multiple data at one time, and it can just prepare the next data in parallel, so it can increase the efficiency. And now let's go to code examples, step by step. Firstly, we have our dataset, and we can create some simple datasets. Our input is just from 0 to 9, and our output is just our elements multiplied by 2. So let's continue. We can use just simple dataloader to load this dataset. The batch is by default 1, the number of workers is 0, and shuffle is not set to true. So it is just like a very simple dataloader. Besides the simple dataloader, we can also load some complex things. So just like this. We create an image which is 256 by 256. And let's back to the original simple dataset. We can load it by batch. When the batch is 4, as we talked before, the first dimension is 4, and the output dimension is also 4. So we have not dropped the last one, so we have the dimension of 2 in the last batch. If we don't want this, we can, like here, says drop plus it 2. So we have only the first dimension is 4, and all batches are in the same size. Also, we can set shuffle to true. As we talked before, shuffle can randomly make the sequence, like here. So every time we refresh it, we have a new sequence. And also the mapping of the input element to the target element is the same. They are just in different sequences. Also, here we use a drop plus to true. And besides the default batch operations by the pytorch, we can also provide a custom batch sample. And here is we firstly create the dataset, and we can write our own batch sampler. This is like an advanced feature, and if you have an interest in it, you can log in the code. And now we can have our data loader. So here comes the collate function. As we talked before, we want to process the data, or we just don't simply want the things we have set in the dataset. We have to do some transform or some operation to it. We can define the collate function in the dataset, and when we use the data loader to load the data from the dataset, the collate function can simply change our data structure or other operations. And here is our dataset. These are simple, and we want to define an operation we want to do with each data. We want to compute the mean, standard, and normalize it. And now we can see we firstly create our dataset, and we now want to load it with this part. We want to change the structure we have the data. So the previous thing is the same. We have the batch size, we have the shuffle, and now we want to do some more operations to the data. So as we can see, the batch of inputs are the things we are doing to the each data defined here. And here is number of workers. We have 2 workers here and 4 workers here. It can accelerate our training. And also, we have provided another parameter which can also increase the efficiency of training, which is pin memory, which can copy the tensors to our device like CUDA and the pinned memories in the device before returning them. It can lead to faster processing. So, as we have introduced many features of the data loader, let's get back into the top. The things we have to keep in mind is 3 parts: batching, shuffling, and data processing. And these are the key features. So we also have number of workers to accelerate the training. We have pin memory to accelerate the training. And we have customized batching and many other operations. So, in conclusion, the data loader has many features, but their goal is just 2 things. We want to make the training better in performance, and also want to make it better in efficiency. And here's the lecture about data loader.